The Albany VA Medical Center was under investigation, Part 33, November 31st, 2006. Mrs. Hocus Pocus, between commas, told me indirectly. Let me see, I revise a little bit. Told me indirectly that I didn't care for my husband and that's why I don't want him to have another surgery at the Albany VA Medical Center. After all we went through, I didn't want Ashley to be stuck there anymore. And so Mrs. Hocus Pocus, November 21st, 2006, told me indirectly, that I didn't care for my husband. That's why I don't want him to have another surgery at the Albany VA Medical Center. She needs to go walk on the yellow line. This is not said literally, it is said metaphorically. It is what I should have told her for attacking me somehow in a way I couldn't sue her. All was in the manner that it was said and in the tone of the voice. The main reason why I don't want my now late husband to have another surgery is because he would be in this VA hospital on this blip 8th floor where they almost killed him 5 times in a row. Update on December 31st, 2013. I have the medical records that Ash died because of the TIPS procedure. Okay, I have in the medical records that Ash died because of the TIPS procedure went wrong, which could be possible because Ash was asking fentanyl all the time after the procedure, but I cannot rely on Dr. Nimesh Desai's words for the simple reason that he let my husband die, even though I knew that Ash was not getting the proper care at the MMH, and that's why I called the Congressman John M. McHugh and they called the hospital officials, but the doctor between commas didn't change his mind, so he let Ashley die because after all of this mess he went through at the Albany VA Medical Center on the 8th floor, he didn't want to be transferred to any VA hospital, and that's the only choice they say gave him, even though the dialysis center was only at 2 miles and part of the MMH. Nimesh Desai did not even offer the dialysis. So I was working on getting a liver and decided that I was to be the living donor because our blood was compatible, so Ash's body would not reject my liver. So I was working very hard on this and found out that the Georgetown University Hospital is doing that type of surgery. And I was asking the congressman to have Ash and I fly by helicopter there ASAP. I didn't want to lose Ash because my husband was dying, and I was misled by Nimesh Desai because what Ash needed first was a dialysis. And according to Desai, the TIPS procedure went wrong. I report the words exactly like they are said. That's why I take the time to review. I think it is criminal to mislead a patient, to let him think that what you need is a liver transplant, but in fact, first of all, you need to have a dialysis, and he didn't even mention the dialysis. And it discovered after his death that the dialysis center was only at 2 miles away from the hospital and was even part of the hospital. So, according to the medical records, because the nurse was trying to shame me because I didn't want Ash to be tortured, they almost killed him 5 times in a row. So the medical records that I have and I kept preciously said that Ash died because of the TIPS procedure went wrong, which could be possible because Ash was asking fentanyl all the times after his procedure. And also something else I want to add is that he turned yellow inside a week period after his release from the Albany VA Medical Center. 7 days inside a week. Okay, I want to be as precise as I possibly can, so I won't say 7 days. I will say inside a week period, he turned yellow. So because Ash refused to go to any VA hospital after being tortured that way, not to mention that they almost killed him 5 times, and finally they killed him with the TIPS procedure, and Nimesh Desai, but he did not even offer the dialysis, even though I called the congressman who was John McHugh at that time, and they called the hospital officials. Nimesh Desai didn't change his mind. So this Nimesh Desai only made one offer to Ash: either go to a VA hospital or. What Ash needed to understand was that he was to be left to die. That is what it was about. So this Nimesh Desai said on the records that Ash died because of TIPS procedure went wrong. And if this is true, and I think it is only partially correct. When the VA hospital postponed his TIPS procedure, I tried to influence him to not get it, but he was sold out to the idea, because if you did hear well this journal, you will realize that all of this started because his lungs were filled with liquid, and he was drowning in his own liquid, and his lungs could collapse at any time, and he was scared that would happen to him again, and that is why, and that is what this TIPS procedure was supposed to avoid, or at least it is what they convince him of that would fix it. So he was convinced to get it, no matter how I was scared for him to be on this 8th floor of the Albany VA Medical Center. And his main doctor there was Dr. Raymond Smith. Because we almost all blew up one time because they didn't mind to have this addicted to cigarettes near the tank of oxygen. I told this to the social workers, Lori Boberski, and that this addicted to cigarettes visitor was around the oxygen tank. Now I understand why I'm writing things down and reading it, because it is so overwhelming, to say the very least. So, this addicted to cigarettes visitor was around the oxygen tank asking for cigarettes, and he had lighters with him, and she did not do anything. What the fuck? But there are limits to my tolerance of absolute stupidity. This was part 33.